Welcome back to Balanced Health. Today we're talking about choosing safe and non-toxic cleaners for your home. And this week's Nutrition in the News deals with one of the environmental impacts of home cleaning supplies, contaminated wastewater. A recent U.S. Geological survey, which tested for 95 chemicals in 139 different streams across the nation, found that 80% of the streams were contaminated with one or more of these chemicals. Some of the most frequently detected chemicals were detergent metabolites, which were also measured in the highest concentrations when compared to other contaminants. These detergent metabolites, also called APEs, are added to some laundry detergents, disinfectants, laundry stain removers, and citrus degreasers to enhance the product's effectiveness. Municipal treatment plants cannot effectively remove these detergent metabolites, and they do not readily biodegrade in soil or water. These APEs have been shown to mimic the hormone estrogen, and their increased presence in streams and rivers may be harming reproduction and survival of salmon and other fish. And we were just talking about this, Joe, that they actually will also affect human bodies as well.
Well, we eat the fish.
Oh, right.
So, I mean, you know, here it mimics
and we drink the water.
Yeah, and these fish are consuming this. Now, somebody might say, well, that's only 139 streams. You know, how many? Well, look, if they found evidence in 139, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Yeah. So more tests are being conducted now, Shirley. I'm telling you, when the right people get in charge of this, and I say the right people, there's organizations like the Organic Consumers Association, when the lobbying groups on what I call the alternative side or the natural side of this food, of the food business in this country, they're gaining so much power. I mean, you're seeing it now. You're seeing no trans fats in fried donut places now, right?
Exactly. McDonald's and Burger King has had to change their way of doing business.
You're starting to see bison in mainstream grocery stores, big organic sections. You know.
Right. Praise God for that.
Absolutely.
We are
making a lot
accessible.
of ground here, and as we do that, I think you're going to find out more things about cleaning supplies, fragrances, and what have you. Maybe even some of the perfumes. Because years ago perfumes were always made from like
rose
whale's
water.
oil,
Rose water or something,
and stuff like. And now I think a lot of this is just chemically based. So.
And I love fragrances. I love perfumes.
I bet you there's a whole bunch out there that are just fine to take.
They probably
I think
are.
I think it's the newer, cheaper, prettier way to do it, where it's 80% of the cost of the product that you're buying is for marketing. And so little of it is what's actually in the container.
Well, Joe, we're really talking about environment. This is a very green show. We're going green today on Balanced Health because it is all about our environment. Not only does what we've been talking about change the environment in our home, but what I read about Nutrition in the News is totally polluting our water, our fish, and who knows the impact on that. What is the impact, do you think?
Well, the impact, Shirley, and I'm not going to try and sound like what one of my conservative friends might call a tree hugger or one of those people that are over the edge. But our environment is part of the circle of life that we live.
That's true.
God created them all, and I don't believe that us and the environment are one. I believe that we are definitely above the environment, and we are God's special creation.
Well, God put us here to tend the earth, though.
God put us here to tend the earth. And so just like our temples, our body, our temples of the Holy Spirit, the earth is what we feed off of and we derive our nutrition from. We get our sun from that. We get our oxygen from that. So as we put this stuff into the environment, you could say, well, all that plastic in the ground, all this stuff going in the water won't be a factor for 20 years or 70 years, or there's really no evidence, or there's really no proof. Before we understood gravity, there was no evidence that you would go down if you jumped, but you always went down,
Right.
And this is the same thing. I mean, empirically we can see it. Clinically maybe the evidence isn't there, but all that stuff that goes in the air, the soil, and the water, all these things that are making us sick in our home, they go somewhere.
That's right.
When after you do your cleaning or whomever, and you take the bucket of stuff, where do you pour it?
Down the drain.
And where does it go? Now, some people, well, water treatment plants take care of it all. Water treatment plants do not take care of it all.
Well, the Nutrition in the News said, the article I read said it does not.
It does not. It only takes care of some of it. So, I mean, that's the impact on the environment, I think, is immeasurable. But I think it's not quantifiable, but I think we can quickly ascertain that it comes right back into our bodies.
Yeah, that's very scary. Well, let's get back to our discussion of cleaning products, what some of these cleaning products are. Cleaning products don't always have all the ingredients listed, but if they do, what are some of the ingredients we should stay away from?
Well, when you see warning labels that say things like corrosive, vapors harmful, may cause burns. I mean, this might sound like, people might be going out there going, no duh, but, we use them.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when you talk about fragrances, for whatever reason, now how do you get away with this, I don't know. When I make a product, if there's one little thing that I leave out or don't describe, whether it's from a standardized extract or whether it's from the general plant, they'll refuse the label and return the product. And yet these major companies, these big boys, they can make things with fragrances in it, like with cleaners and stuff, and they do not have to list the source of the fragrance. I mean, what's up with that? That's a very unbalanced field. We want to be able to, so those are your main warning signs when you see those things. Some basic things we can look for from the solution side of it. I know we'll touch on a little bit more next segment, but you don't need for your cleaner to have pretty colors, okay? Right. Years ago, let me ask you a question, and this is what I'm asking about your grandmother now, not you. What did people clean with years ago?
Borax. They used lime for a lot of things. They used baking soda.
Okay. Were their homes dirty? Were their homes filthy?
They weren't as clean as ours are today because they had people working in the fields coming in. But the other thing was my grandmother made her own soap.
A lot of people did.
Made her own soap, and I don't know how healthy it was. It was probably lye soap. I don't know.
Well,
but
we might have less germs in our house, as we discussed on many shows. I'm not so sure that's good. I mean, even the American Pediatric Academy is now coming out and saying that our kids are so germ-free that's why there's so much asthma and so many allergens. So, but I'm talking about was when we used to, use different cleaning supplies in our home, and our homes were perfectly clean.
Yeah.
They were changed for one reason. And it's money. It's all about money, money, money. And people, we had a dentist on the show not too long ago who was talking about whitening your teeth and improving your self-image. And we were talking about the money. And we were saying, well, geez, that kind of sounds expensive, to spend on your teeth. And I said, well, on this show, one of the things we do is educate people about, but maybe some other things that you're spending your money on. If we give you the right information, you can take from that budget and put towards this budget. Cleaning supplies is one of those. Yeah. The money people pay on cleaning supplies, Shirley, and what you can do with vinegar and water or lemons or vinegar, and water, baking soda, it's amazing.
I was going to ask you about common household bleach and ammonia. That's something that's in a lot of products, and we use it, I had a lady who told me, just make your own, Windex. You do a little ammonia and you do a little of this. What about using ammonia and bleach?
Shirley, when I first started out in business, there was a lot of glass in my showrooms, okay? And I used ammonia and water, and my glass was absolutely perfectly clean. It was only in time when I could afford it that we go to the big spray bottles, to make it more convenient.
But ammonia, it does have a very horrible smell, so is that an indication that it's dangerous?
No, ammonia really isn't dangerous. What you can't do with ammonia is you can't contain it. Like, for instance, you don't want to put it in your toilet and then leave it sit there and then flush the toilet. Another common thing that anybody can do, though, is whenever you're cleaning, whenever you're using cleaners, open windows, even if it's wintertime. Okay. Crack the windows, you can close them afterwards, but anytime those fumes are, and an easy thing to do, and again, we'll touch on this a little bit more in the next segment, is there's a lot of websites. In fact, they can go on the TLN site or go on the Kylea site. You have to show, and we'll have some links on there of companies that make all types of botanical and organic cleaning products. One of the easiest things you can do to measure that is it goes kind of just like food. It should be really only 1 or 2 or 3 words, okay, instead of a big long thing. But there's also a lot of plant-based cleaning products out there. And there's a lot of petroleum-based cleaning products out there. And petroleum-based cleaning products are not what you want to use. Okay. You know what petroleum is. I mean, it cements in whatever you have there. I always thought it was weird, that stuff that you keep spraying on the wood, and it just keeps making it shiner and shiner and shiner. I always thought to myself, there's got to be an inch of that stuff on top of this wood, This wood needs to breathe. Again, it goes back to being against the natural course of the way God planned things. Right. So there are natural ways to use perfume. There are organic perfume companies. Again, some of the links will be on the site. We'll
I think that's it. We have to go to a break, but I think that's a very good answer for, how do you get a handle on this, is to find some very good companies. On one of our shows we talked about Tom's toothpaste, for instance, and there's some very good companies that do make healthy products. We have to stop for a quick break, but remember, we rely on your support to keep Balanced Health on the air. If you'd like to make a donation or order a DVD of this program, just call the number on your screen. And when we return, Jill will show us what products to look for when shopping. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.